Hi there, and welcome to today's yoga class. I'm Harry Kalimios from thethoughtgym.com, and in today's class we're going to do quite a reasonably strong Vinyasa flow class. No props needed, but it would be advisable that you've had a little bit of yoga practice in order to do this. It's not going to be super flexible, but it will be reasonably strong, so you will need a little bit of strength to do it. Okay, so we're going to start on our hands and knees in tabletop position, warming up the wrists. So maybe tucking the toes as well, just so that you can just move forward and backwards and also create a little bit of space along the toes here. If you want, you can start maybe taking rotations and then taking rotations the other direction. And then we're going to turn the fingers in, maybe 45 degrees. And again, do the same sort of thing, rotations or maybe just forward and backwards. And then if you're taking rotations, remembering to take them the other direction. Good. And then maybe taking our fingers now to the edges of the mat. Same thing, some rotations. Sitting back towards the heels, taking your shoulders over the wrists, maybe changing direction if you haven't already. And then we're going to take our fingertips towards the knees now, and maybe that's enough. Maybe you can come back a little bit. Maybe you can even take some side to sides or some rotations, up to you. Good, and then backs of the hands come back onto the mat, just stretch out the front of the mat. Good, and then placing the hands back down and extending both legs away, coming into high plank. So holding this high plank for a little while, engaging the glutes and the thighs, zipping up through the center line here. From here we're going to come straight into a side plank on the right side. So coming onto the outer edge of the right foot, stacking the left foot and then lifting the left arm up. And again, you can gaze up towards the hand if you wish. Really have that shoulder, the right shoulder over the right wrist, everything from wrist to wrist in a line. Then coming back into your high plank, taking a moment here, settling down, and then taking it onto the other side. So left foot stacks and we come up. So again, hand comes up, right hand comes up, maybe looking up towards the sky. Or if your neck doesn't like that, you can look down to the side. And then coming back into high plank. Feet hip width apart here, bending the knees, coming back into a bent leg downward dog. So bringing the ears between the wrists or the biceps, having a little pedal with the feet here. Yeah. And from here, lifting the right leg, keeping the hips square, taking three-legged dog. From here, bending the knee, shifting the weight forward, bringing the knee towards the right tricep, lower towards the right wrist, then over to the left wrist, up to the left tricep, into the center here. From here, stepping that right foot outside of the right hand. Good, rocking forwards and backwards off that back heel or back toes, creating a little bit of space here in the groin. Okay, and then from here we're going to lift this right foot and the right hand and come into a wild thing. Hopefully I've got enough room here. Didn't quite think about that beforehand, but we're going to come onto the fingertips of the right hand, lift that right knee, come into a side plank and then into our wild thing. So I've just about enough space to squeeze in here, lifting the hips up, taking the arm over. Okay. So from here, we're in our wild thing. We're going to come back to that starting position. So we lift the foot, we lift the knee, we're sort of hovering in side plank. Then we take that foot all the way to where it would be outside of that right hand. Good. Then rooting down through this left hand, lifting the right leg, the right hand, bringing the left knee through and coming into kick like that. Then bending the knee, coming back, and then finding our way back into this long lunge. Good. From here, stepping this left leg outside of the right leg, onto the right of the mat. From here, pressing down through the left hand, right hand comes up, and stretch up and over in a weird kind of side plank here. Good. And then placing back down and stepping back into our long lunge here. Stepping back, downward facing dog, rolling through to high plank, coming down to low plank or chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, opening up the chest here as much as you can, tucking the chin, rolling back, vertebra by vertebra. Inhale the right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog, okay, still the same leg. Bring the knee to the right tricep, down to the right wrist, across to the left wrist, up to the left tricep, back to the centre. Now we're not going to come over the other side, we're going to come onto the heel of the back foot, open up into our side plank, extend the right leg away, maybe place it on the floor, coming into fallen star here as we extend the left hand up. If you want, you can raise that right foot. From here, bring the knee back in, placing the hand down, extending the right leg away, and back into downward facing dog. Rolling through into your high plank, chaturanga, pushing through into upward dog, rolling back into downward facing dog. Okay, inhale, left leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale as the knee comes towards the left tricep, left wrist, right tricep, into the centre, and then placing the foot outside of the left hand, From here, rocking forwards and backwards. Okay. Good. And from here, we're going to come into that wild thing on the other side. So, coming onto the fingertips of the left hand, we're going to bring that knee in. We hover, we release the left foot behind us, extend the left arm across, look towards the forearm, lift the hips nice and high, finding our way into our wild thing. Bringing the knee back in and placing the foot back down to where it was before. From here, again, we're going to lift up the left hand, bend the right knee, sit as we kick through here into our kicking pose. Coming back into our long lunge, and then from here, placing that right foot perpendicular to the mat and across as we find our way into our weird side pose here. Side plank, I guess. Coming back down, stepping back, stepping the left leg back, chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, rolling back, downward facing dog. Good. Taking a couple of breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale before lifting the left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale as the knee comes towards the left tricep, left wrist, right tricep, back to the centre. Then we can come onto the heel of that right foot, kick the left leg out, either place it on the floor as you raise the right arm, or you lift that left leg as high as you can, rooting down through the sole of the right foot. Bring the knee back in, step back, three-legged dog, downward facing dog, rolling vinyasa, rolling down to the ground. Inhale, upward dog or cobra, and rolling back. Find our way into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. From here, inhale, right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale as you bring the knee to the chest, hover here for a moment before looking beyond your mat and stepping that foot in between the hands as much as you can. Trying to keep the knee over the ankle if you can. From here, floating up into warrior thing. Warrior three. Arms out in front of you, trying to keep the hips square, squeezing that left glute, try and bring the heel higher up. From here, coming up into standing on one leg, bringing the knee up, hands into prayer position. Coming into our tree pose, bringing the left foot onto the thigh or the lower part of the leg, so you can bring it here if you wish. In fact, I will do on this knee. Keeping the hips square and open and focusing on something that's not moving. Yeah. And from here, crossing that ankle over the right knee, coming into a seated pigeon. So flexing that, as we wobble a little bit here, flexing that left foot, so pointing the toes up towards the knee and maybe using the elbow to push that left knee down. Again, sitting into an imaginary chair here. Before coming back up. Wobbling a little bit. Back into our warrior three momentarily. Before coming into, floating back into our long lunge here. Okay, so we're back in our long lunge and downward facing dog. Remembering to breathe here. Inhale, left leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest hover. Look beyond the mat. Step that left foot between the hands. Knee over ankle. Floating up into our warrior three, not warrior thing. Doing our best to squeeze that right glute, engage the left standing leg, glutes, thighs, everything active, arms are active. Good. Before coming up into our proud warrior as we bring our knee up and then into our tree pose. So bringing the foot onto the thigh or the lower leg, just not on the knee. So even if the foot doesn't go all the way up, try not to press on the knee as much as possible. These are the best trousers for this. And then coming back into our proud warrior momentarily before crossing the ankle, sitting down into our seated pigeon. So flexing that left foot, or the right foot, sorry, and coming into our prayer position, spine as straight as possible, sitting down into our imaginary seat. Before coming back into our warrior three, wobbling as I speak, try to focus, coming back into our long lunge, stepping back, downward facing dog. Option to stay in downward dog or child's pose if you need a rest, otherwise we can roll all the way through to high plank, down into chaturanga, shoulders to elbow height. Inhale, floats you up into upward facing dog or cobra, thighs off the ground and engage, tucking the chin, rolling back, downward facing dog. Okay, from here you're going to take a little bunny hops or alternate leg kicks, 5 on each leg. So this is for our handstand practice, but we're not looking to necessarily get into handstand. So hands are shoulder width apart, Feet a little bit closer than where you are from down the dog. Bring them in a little bit. You can start by kicking the right leg up, looking just beyond or in between your thumbs, bending that left knee, and just either take little bunny hops, so we're going to take 5 little bunny hops, or if you're a little bit more confident, locking out the arms, rounding the upper back, and maybe coming up a little bit higher. That's 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And then you're back, downward facing dog. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other leg, so we're going to launch off the right leg, so the left leg will be in the sky. And again, small bunny hops if you want, just launch him a couple of inches off the ground. Or if you want, you take a little bit higher. 1, and 2, and 3, 4, it's been a while since I've done these, and 5. And then downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Good. From here, inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Exhale as you step the right foot just behind and to the left of the right hand. Back foot comes in slightly as we roll up for a short version of Warrior One, and then straightening that leg. So we're in a ready for a like a pyramid pose. So feet are either directly forward and the other one is diagonally forward. And from here, let's take the arms up as we inhale. Exhale, fold halfway. Inhale, reach a little bit forward as you bring the right hip back, the left hip forward, and then fold the arms and chest down towards the thigh. So maybe you're going to round the back a little bit as you do this, but at the same time you're folding over. Just think about, or imagine someone's got a hand on your hips and they're pulling the right hip back, left hip forward, still pressing through the big toes of both feet and the outer edge of the back foot as you find a pyramid. Good. And then bending that front leg and rolling the spine up into our short Warrior One. Hands together. Exhale as you frame just in front of that front foot, stepping back into downward facing dog. So again, inhale, left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step the left hand, foot just behind the left hand and to the right of it. Step the right leg in slightly, rolling up through that short Warrior One. Exhale, straightening the legs. So we're going to square the hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold halfway. Inhale, you're being pulled by both hands whilst the right hip is coming forward, the left hip back, as you fold all the way down. Of course, if you've got blocks or bricks or you need a bit of support higher up, you can do that instead of coming all the way down to the ground. Maybe just allowing the chin to tuck in a little bit as you roll the upper spine. Thinking about the left hip going back, the right hip going forwards. Before bending into that front leg, rolling up into our short Warrior One. Exhale as we frame the front foot, stepping back, downward facing dog. Taking 3 long, deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. From downward dog, inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step that right foot in between the hands once more. Lower the left knee down towards the ground here. Inhale into our crescent lunge, or our kneeling crescent lunge. Exhale as we bring the hands into prayer position. Hook the left elbow outside of the right knee here. So we're twisting, prayer to the center of the sternum, looking over the right elbow, taking a twist here. Good. And then inhale both arms up to the sky. And as you bring the arms up to the sky, see if you can bend into that front leg a little bit more, so you find a little bit more on the left hip flexor here. Okay, and then reach up with the right hand and bring the left hand down to the floor as you lean over that side. Then bring both arms up and take it over to the other side. So you're leaning over to the right here. Good. Then inhale, both arms up. Exhale, framing the front foot. Lifting the back knee, stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping through between the hands, lowering the back knee, making sure that knee is over the ankle to begin with. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing them into prayer position as you twist towards the left. Taking the right elbow over the left knee, drawing the left hip back somewhat, looking over that left elbow, thumbs to the centre of the sternum, spine straight, but just twisting at the waist. Good. Inhale, arms up towards the sky, leaning or bending into that front knee, finding a little bit more space along the right hip flexor here. Then we're going to take the right hand down, the left hand goes up and over as we bend over to the right side somewhat. And then inhale, both arms up. Taking the left hand down and reach the right hand up and over. Stretching over to the left. Yeah. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, framing that front foot. Stepping back, downward facing dog. From here, bending the knees, looking between the hands, and then floating, stepping your feet either side of the hands before making your way to seated on the mat. Good. From here, extending the left leg out and hooking or holding onto the right leg, a bit like you're holding onto baby. So either hooking the arm underneath the knee or coming from the other side of the knee. I prefer to do it this way. Flexing the foot and rocking the baby, as it were, just opening up the hips here. Good. And then placing the sole of the foot somewhere along the leg before removing any fleshy bits from your bottom. Extending the left leg, flexing the left foot. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold over towards the toes of your left foot. Whatever you can reach here is fine. If you've got a strap, you can use straps, but you can just grab onto something. Not yanking yourself down, just allow gravity and the breath to help you down. Good, and then releasing back up, straightening the right leg, bringing the left leg in, and again hooking in whichever way worked for you before, spine straight if you can, rocking the baby a few times. Okay, I like to hook underneath the knee, find it easier, but you may want to take it a different way over the knee instead, up to you. Okay, then bringing the foot somewhere along the leg, doesn't matter where, opening up the groin area, removing any fleshy bits from your bottom here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold in as much as you can with a flat back before you start to round, and then allowing yourself to just come into that stretch without yanking, pulling, but just using the breath and gravity and the release of tension to help you get further and deeper, whatever is working for you. Good, and then releasing. Okay, straightening both legs, giving them a little bit of a walk on the spot before coming in to our Vinyasa pose, butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet together. Just open up the front of the chest as you allow some of the work to be done by gravity on the knees. Good, and then we're going to take hold of the feet. Again, either with a straight back if you can, or round in the back. Hinge at the hips before coming down. Now, it doesn't matter how far or how close your feet are necessarily. Be somewhere where it's comfortable on the knees. So I've got about 8 inches between my heels and my groin, and that may be too much for you, it might be too little for you. Think about what you want to do without yanking down, but just folding down. Maybe you come down, maybe the knees open up, maybe they don't. Doesn't really matter. Do what feels good. And then trying to release and relax. And then coming back up. And final pose before we come into our Shavasana, we're going to come into Happy Baby. So grabbing the outer edges of the feet. We're in our kind of upright baby at the moment, but we roll down. We find our way into Happy Baby as we pull the soles of the feet or the knees towards the ground, maybe one and the other, rocking from side to side. Good. Before eventually extending the legs nice and long away from the hips, one foot, then the other foot to the corners of the mat, extending our arms away from our shoulders. Neck is nice and long, gaze is soft, the eyes are closed, breath relaxes. Finding your way into your Shavasana. Just a moment here, but if you want to carry on, by all means, just carry on after class. Maybe pause me now and just relax. Coming out a bit with me, starting to take some deeper breaths, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Otherwise, just pause me and carry on in your Shavasana. Taking the hands over your head to the floor behind you, giving yourself a full body stretch. Maybe stretching the right and left side of your body out as you move from side to side. Keeping your eyes closed, your attention inwards and centered towards the center of your forehead, bringing the knees in towards the chest. Giving yourself a hug and a squeeze, telling yourself something nice about yourself before rocking over to your left or your right in that fetal position, maybe making a pillow with the hands, taking a breath or two here. Before making your way to sitting, again keeping your eyes closed, your attention inwards and focused towards your own self, bringing the hands into prayer position in front of the heart center, sitting on your mat as comfortably as you wish in terms of either on your knees or your bottom. Raising our prayer towards our third eye, we ask that we may always seek the truth. Lowering our prayer towards our mouth or our throat chakra, we ask that we may always speak the truth. And finally, lowering our hands towards our heart center, we ask that we may always be in truth. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing along with me, my fellow yogi. My name has been Harry Kalimnios, and you can connect with me at The Thought Gym on all social media platforms. Definitely check out the YouTube channel, plenty of videos on not only yoga, but mindset, resilience, health, well-being, personal development, success principles, and more. So check that out, as well as coming to thethoughtgym.com, where you can find free gifts to help you along with your vitality and energy, which we all need, especially in this day and age. So do connect with me further, and I hope to see you on the mat very, very soon. Namaste.